get on board for a raw, competitive aerobatic flight.
So much waiting for this moment.
This is my first flight of 3 at the U.S. National Aerobatic Championships from 2024. I'm flying the Sportsman class. That's me getting my sequence card ready. I'm up in the hold waiting for my turn to get cleared into the box, and nerves are high. After a season of practice, it all comes down to about 3 minutes, which is how long it takes to run through the sequence. At each contest, you get to fly 3 times in front of 5 judges per flight. I've never shared a 360 format before, so I figured for this I'd give it a shot. It's raw, so you can look around in any direction. So if you pan down to like the passenger seat, I put the sequence card there if you want to have a closer look at it at any given time during the flight. And for some additional context, this is a card that all the competitors get. It shows the airport frequencies, the layout, and where the holds are located. And you can see the out of focus logos from some of the key sponsors that I want to thank for supporting the content. Bose Aviation has been with me for years. EarthX Batteries powers this airplane, and SiriusXM Aviation data helps get me to these events safe. Several existing episodes cover the IFR flights to get to these things. I've got more coming, and if you let me know in the comments if you want to see more details about the aerobatic flying, I'll definitely make some more episodes about this. The box is only 1 kilometer square, and the Sportsman class, the floor is 1,500 feet. While I'm flying, you'll be able to see the markers if you look closely. For this flight, amazingly, I'm proud to say I was able to keep it in the box for the whole thing. I got no penalties from the boundary judges, although for my other 2 flights here, I got 1 penalty per flight, which isn't terrible. Here's what the scores from all 5 judges looked like for this one, and here's the specific scores from one of the judges. I appreciate that they give notes, so you can really drill down into what you need to improve for each figure.
I'm on box. Correction, I'm on hold. Box is in.
In future episodes covering this event, I'll leverage the awesome ground footage they got from the vantage point of the judges, and they had Goody Thomas, one of the Unlimited pilots, commentating for flights 2 and 3.
On final, wing wag!
So here we go. Steven's in the box, and that beautiful RV-14 as he pulls to vertical.
And those episodes won't be in the 3D format, so I'll be doing my thing as a filmmaker. But for now, let's get back to this one, where I have no control of where you're looking.
Security is checked. Holding at 5,000.
Since I didn't have Goody's commentary, I decided to share this one raw.
Airboss Steve, you can push the box frequency. Contact Chief Judge.
Steve on box frequency at 5,000 in the hold.
Hey Steve, how you doing?
I'm pretty high up here. How are you doing?
Outstanding. Hope it's cold up there. Hey, dude, you are cleared in the box. The box is yours. Have a wonderful flight.
Okay, Steve's cleared the box. It's going to take me a minute to get down.
Roger.
I hate to keep the judges waiting after getting cleared to the box, so I felt a little bit of pressure there, and as soon as I did my first pull, the mic ended up below my chin, so I didn't even talk to myself on this one. So I'll jump in occasionally maybe to mention what figures you're looking at or anything that I'm challenged by. In this case, figure 0, which is often described as one of the most difficult figures simply because of how important it is diving in. You need to make sure you put yourself in exactly the right spot to set yourself up with the right energy and positioning as related to the wind, because everything starts to fall apart if you're fighting to get yourself back where you want to be in the box. That's definitely something that I'm still working on. In this case, it worked out well. So let's go.
Caution, sink rate.
The RV-14 accelerates fast and is heavy on the controls.
Sink rate, pull up.
So I only wagged twice, unlike a lot of other competitors that will wag 3 times as they enter. Anyway, here we go with figure 1, a Humpty Bump. My goal with this one was to put it right at the edge of the box. You can see that T marker if you're looking forward, and now I'm pulling level, flying towards center box to set up for the 45 upline and then the 1 1/4 rotation spin. The IO390 really pops as I pull the power back. I'm at idle now. It took a lot of practice to get consistent coming out of spins on heading.
Caution, sink rate.
And then for the competition recovery, you're supposed to end up in a perfect vertical.
Sink rate, pull up.
The next figure is the hammer. It's one of my favorites. I'm pretty consistent with these. This one turned out well.
Compare.
Of course, the avionics are freaking out about all these massive, quick attitude changes.
Sink rate, pull up.
The hammerhead ended with a 1/4 roll, which puts me back on heading after the 1 1/4 spin, and the next figure is the wedge, also known as the shark's tooth, which starts with a vertical upline and then a 45-degree inverted downline with a half roll in the middle. I'm finding myself consistently steep after that roll.
Caution, sink rate.
That's something I'm working on. Then we've got the Immelman, which last season was tough for me, but I got that mostly figured out, followed by the 2 of 4 quarter rolls into a split S, which was the figure that I was most concerned about this year. This episode is too short to get into the details of why, but essentially you got to be in this perfect energy state to get the rolls correct, but then not be too fast to commit to that inverted dive for the half loop, which can be pretty scary and end up being a high G situation or approaching VNE. Next, we've got the normal loop. I kind of rushed this one a little bit. I also had a hell of a lot of energy coming out of that split S, so I could have afforded to float the top longer. Then after that, we've got the half Cuban, and I suffer from the same issues as the wedge in terms of the 45-degree downline ending up being steeper after the half roll here. I'm letting the nose drop, and it's just so hard to get that right.
Sink rate. Pull up.
Then next is the competition turn, which is kind of weird. You bank hard into your 60 or more degrees, stop, so you're kind of holding it there with some top rudder. And at the end of the turn, it's the same thing. You stop the turn and then unbank the airplane. So they want to see you be able to do those two things separately. And finally, the sequence ended with a full roll. I was pretty happy with this one as I managed to maintain altitude and heading. And then you wag out to signal to the judges that you've completed your flight.
All right, Steve, good job. You are cleared to head back to the north and then contact through the box and contact tower, please.
Okay, through the box, back over the tower, Steve.
We got to plus 5.5 and almost minus 1 Gs.
I don't know if I was in, man.
The thing I was most proud of from this flight was that I managed to keep the entire thing in the box. It was pretty cool to see the boundary judge card come back with no penalties. And I caught some flack from a recent episode where I didn't share a landing, so let's cut to that. And thanks for watching. If you enjoyed that format, let me know. As a filmmaker, it is definitely challenging to let go of the control of what the viewer sees when. I definitely like to put a lot of work into my edits and make the image really well controlled and curated. So I hope you enjoyed being able to just look around freely during this one. But I will be doing a more detailed aerobatic episode that talks about the actual experience of the competition with more breakdown, and I'll answer any questions you guys want to share in the comments. And until the next one, keep your flight chops sharp.